Ba, 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 ba. Hey, folks. Hey, everybody. Which is nobody right now. That's okay, because I just went live 10 seconds ago. That's okay. It is Wednesday, and we're doing our usual little stream thing. My little stream thing here. See if anybody joins up. I'm going to wait a few minutes and explain why. I almost didn't. Well, I mean, now I'm explaining it when I just said I wasn't going to explain it right away, just in case anybody shows up. But I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not going to make a difference. Almost was not going to stream today. Because I tell you, this day started off not great. Really not great. I mean, nothing to do with me or anybody. Family's all okay. Everybody's fine. No problems or anything like that. It's okay. I don't want to, I don't want to panic anybody or, not panic, but I don't want to make people think something's wrong. Nothing's wrong per se. I mean, it's nothing directly with me. So I'm okay. Wife's okay, dog's okay, family's okay, everybody's okay. So it's nothing like that. It's just, this is one of those things that some people are going to, set my iPad up here. Some people are going to get this, and some people are not going to understand what the big deal is, and that's fine. It's okay either way. Well, I mean, if you don't understand why this would be upsetting, I get it. Not everybody looks at things the same way. That's fine. It's just differences in people's lives. That's okay. So I'm just saying that up front. Oh, did I? Yeah. Actually, that doesn't really matter. Just so just to set the kind of overall thing correctly. So I understand not everybody's gonna not everybody will see why this would be upsetting, and that is okay. I'm just in the background doing one quick thing because this is going to be a little bit of a different stream than usual. I'm kind of workshopping something. You'll see it in a minute. But there was I'm not trying to upset anybody. So anybody, hopefully nobody is upset by this. That's not my goal. But there was from time to time, if you're not on Twitter, you might not ever see this. You might not know about this. But on Twitter, very often what people will do is if people see somebody asking for some kind of help, like GoFundMe's, that type of thing, for people who are going under, let's say, cancer treatment, something like that, very often, or, having a problem paying bills and stuff like that happen. Life happens type stuff, which, if you don't live in the United States, the idea that you might not be able to pay medical bills will probably seem baffling, and it is, but that's what happens in the United States. But that doesn't just apply to people, and there's often people who do that stuff. People who fall on hard times, lose their job, whatever, have some kind of family tragedy. And they'll often go on and they'll say, okay, I'm starting a collection, either, what is it, Ko-Fi or something like that. And they'll say, if you can help, I'd appreciate it. It's very nice. And, time to time I do that stuff. When I have the funds and I can do it, I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm actually very happy to help out somebody else because, the reality is, at least, again, in the United States, can't speak to other countries, but here, anybody is one bad week away from financial ruin when it comes to medical stuff, even if you have unless you're at the very, very top end Jeff Bezos level type of position, CEO type, and even then doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but most people who are not able to enjoy that level of wealth, one severe illness can literally put you on the edge of not having anything. Losing everything. That's just how it is here. That's the way the medical system is here, and everything is basically for pay, and so you do have to legitimately worry that some illness will bankrupt you, which I know for a lot of people will just seem like absolute lunacy, and it is lunacy. There's just no other way to put it. It is lunacy. But that's how it is. So I look around, and if somebody posts something, I'll look, and look, they're scams. They're absolutely scams. There's no denying that there are people who are predators on the goodwill of others, So I'm always inherently somewhat cautious on stuff. But I think most of the ones that I know, I'm going at the 5 minute mark. I'm about to start. I'll switch over to the thing in a second. But most of the stuff when I look at it, I don't think I've ever contributed to something that was obviously a scam. I can't guarantee I never have, but I don't think I have. So anyway, but then there was one that, and this was a while. I'm gonna say it's a month or two ago. There was somebody that I had seen. Somebody had retweeted one from somebody who had a dog, and they'd had the dog for a long time. The dog was 7 years old, and said, "Oh, this is my dog and I. This dog." Here, I'm gonna switch over to my thing. Sorry, because I'm just babbling now. Okay, I'm working on something for one of my art card commissions, so I'm just kind of workshopping an idea to base it off of, because I don't want to ever repeat the same things. So that's what this is. So this is my shielded image with the, I'm formatting it. This is card size, so I'm kind of working out what my idea is going to be for this card, because I want to do something different. So anyway, this person said, "Oh, I've had this dog for a long time, and this dog was there for me and got me through very hard times, and essentially something along the lines of, now it's time for me to return the favor because he's been sick, and didn't have the funds. The vet bills are very expensive. My wife and I, one of the best decisions we ever made, in retrospect, was to get pet insurance for the two dogs that we've had, our last one and our current one. We ended up getting pet insurance because, vet bills are, just because it's not people, they're not cheap. It's a sick pet, like a sick person, you can spend a bunch of, that circle is way too big. I can tell just looking at it. You will spend a bunch of money, or you can. You don't have to, but you can. And the alternative is basically to put your animal down, which is a terrible choice to have to make. And so one of the things that we did was get pet insurance. And I'm really, really, really happy that now we can. So here again, this is we are fortunate that we can afford to. Pet insurance is not cheap. I think it's something like, or I want to say it's something like $65 a month, which, depending on what you make, that's not nothing. That's not a small amount. I don't want to misrepresent it as if it is. So we are fortunate that we are able to afford that insurance, because with our last dog, she had to basically have 2 knee operations, and that insurance made it very easy for us, because it covered so much of the procedure, to say that procedure, I think, ran $3,000 or something like that, along those lines, per knee. Because of that insurance, we were able to instantly say, do whatever you have to do, do the surgery and whatever. And then when she got sick later, didn't even have to think about it. Took her, from the vet who said she's got this serious problem. You're going to have to drive 45 minutes to a pet hospital. Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, it didn't even take me 5 minutes to get her into the car, and we're on our way. And I didn't think once. When we got there, nothing. Didn't think once about, okay, can we afford the treatment? No. Do whatever you have to do. So pet insurance, if you can afford it, which I understand, not everybody can. If you can, get it. Because, if you're at all attached to your animals, I can't imagine how terrible it would have to be, because something couldn't be afforded, to say, no, my dog has to keep, or animal, whatever it is, has to keep suffering and or be put down. I can't even get my head into what that space would be. Fortunately, I've never had to worry about it. Because like I said, we have been fortunate that we have been able to afford pet insurance. So that's why I say, if you can, I don't want to just have the arms just terminate like that. Well, you know what? Actually, they're kind of cool looking. It's not terrible looking to have them like that. I'm just trying to, So anyway, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody can afford it, which I completely understand. Yeah, I kind of like them with the sharp edges. I think I like that. So hey, Faint Waves. I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I was just talking about. It's been a weird day. It was a rough start to the day. That's what I was kind of talking about. I mean, everything's fine. Everybody's okay. But so yeah, so having pet insurance was a big thing, and that, you know, and our second dog had to have double hip surgery. Her hips were destroyed. I mean, it's a defect of the breed, or it's a possible one. Larger dogs tend to have hip and leg problems. So again, they came back to us and said, okay, the surgery is going to be $7,000, and our instant response was do the surgery, because pet insurance covered 90%. So we said, okay, whatever, do whatever you have to do. Get her out of pain, because she was young enough that there was no concerns about the surgery. So yeah, if you can afford pet insurance and you have pets and you are attached to your pets, I cannot strongly enough recommend get pet insurance, because it will prevent you from ever having to make a really terrible decision. If you can afford it. We're lucky enough that we can. So anyway, I saw this GoFundMe, and it was for this woman, and she was talking about her dog and that the dog was there for her, and the dog was 7 years old. And our first dog, we lost her at 7. Unexpectedly. I mean, she went from being fine to being gone in like 4 days. I vividly remember every single thing around that, of what was going on at that time. So right off the bat, when this woman was explaining what was going on and said the age of the dog, like right away, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to help this person out, because, like I said, I can't even imagine what that headspace has to be like. So I donated. I don't even remember how much I donated the first time, but some amount. And then she had said, because they were going for a vet visit or something like that, and this was to offset, like, and her, even the way she talked about it, I was like, yeah, this is somebody who's like me, where she said, I'm not worrying about how much it costs. I'm going to tell them to do it, and I'll figure it out later, but I don't, I know I'm going to be short on this money. So I donated to it, and then she had posted an update and said that, I think it was like 2 days ago. 2 days ago, she had posted a thing saying that, the dog was there were still some problems, but dog seemed to be doing better, and that she was still going to be a little short on something, but whatever. And I'm like, okay. And so I donated again, literally Monday. I think it was Monday. I'm sure it was Monday. Because it sounded like things were going well. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Well, that's great. But, there's still costs. So I donated more to it. And then, I get to work this morning, and I'm like, literally, I think I was at work for maybe 15 minutes. And this is how life often is. I was kind of grooving on something because I was doing some video editing and some art stuff for something for work, and I was really happy with where it was, and I was just getting ready to kind of get back into it, and I hear my email thing go off, and it was this woman updating about her dog, and she said, the dog didn't make it, that they had started to do this, whatever the procedure was, and that they made the determination that there was I don't know, some kind of, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't make it through the whole thing, but there was something where the determination was it was a better idea to just let the dog go, basically put the dog to sleep. And even talking about it right now, and this is not somebody I know. I don't know this person. I've never, never met this person. I have no idea. So, I literally don't know anything. And I was a wreck for a good, like, half an hour. Particularly because there was a thing where she posted a picture of the dog on the way to the vet and said that the dog liked being on the bus. And there was a picture of the dog on the bus that looked really happy. And that was kind of like the end of it for me. And I know part of it is because the dog was 7, And my dog was 7 when we lost her. And I still have trouble with it. And this was, geez, it's got to be 8 years. Yeah, it's 8 years ago now. You know? And some people, they'll say, you know, and I'm not, this is no judgment on it, whatever. I mean, people react differently to different things. There are people who are never going to understand why somebody gets that upset about a pet dying. Because there are people who can just deal with it. I know people who, which isn't to say they don't care about their animals, they do, but they view it in a very different way. They're okay with it. You know, they kind of accept it. And I don't have that function. For me, I'm still not over losing my dog 8 years ago. I'm not. And so it just really just like wrecked the whole day for me. Not wrecked it. I shouldn't say it that way. It's not like I've been just, you know, unable to function all day. I'm not trying to over dramatize it, but it just put a cloud over everything, I guess is the way to put it. And, you know, it's a very specific thing to me. You know, again, for an animal and a person I've never met. But so I kind of was like, oh, am I even going to stream to it? Am I in the frame of mind to do this? But I figured, you know what, it's a good thing to do. It's better to do it than not to, just to kind of, you know, do something. Yeah, it was a rough morning. I mean, again, not really. I say this. What is a rough morning? That's a rough morning. For some people, that doesn't even come close to what a rough morning is. It's always one of the things that I mentally have to kind of wrestle with myself about, because I'm sitting there going, you know, you think you've got a rough morning. Imagine living in a country where you wake up and don't know if you're going to have a meal that night. You know, any number of things. And I'm sitting here complaining about something like this. Do I even have the right to complain about something like this? So, you know. Well, like I said, it was just I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm not trying to bring this whole stream down. But that was why I was kind of back and forth, and it probably won't be a very long stream because I don't know that I'm still in the right headspace for it. Because, like I said, I was going back and forth, but I was like, do something. I do truly think that doing creative stuff is a form of, you know, I don't know if art therapy is the right word for it, but something like that. So I know I have somebody who's going to be commissioning a card, and I'm just figured I'll do something light, just workshop some background ideas on what I want this card to look like. So I think I'm going to do something along the lines like this, where I'm going to fill most of the card in around the Sheoldred character. Will be mostly in black or blacked out, or maybe black with some red, or maybe black with purple. Maybe I'll do black with purple. I don't think I've done a black background with purple yet, so maybe I'll do some kind of purple thing back here. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's like I said, I don't want to over dramatize it. It's not like I guess it's just being in a funk about it. I think it's just because of the point in the day, and maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. Maybe if it had happened in the afternoon, it wouldn't have made any real difference. I still would have been the way that I am. I think I probably would be, because this is just how I am. You know, when it comes to animals, and especially dogs, it's just how I am. It's just how I'm built. I don't know. Like I said, I know that, you know, not everybody's like that. Look, it's the reality of how life goes. Don't get me wrong, I understand. And I also am very well aware there are greater tragedies in the world. There's you know. Yeah, it sucks. It just sucks. Because like I said, I know what it is. I mean, it just sucks. That's the only way to say it. So, yeah, that was the morning. It was not the most fun morning, but fortunately, nothing else like that all day. So the rest of the day was fine. That's good. I came home and I hugged my dog and I kissed my dog a bunch of times, which she's not the most affectionate dog, so I'm sure she was pissed about it. She's like, get away from me. What are you doing? I mean, don't get me wrong. But that's how she is. It's just funny. Because she is not an affectionate animal generally. So I'm sure she was like, get away from me. I don't know what's wrong with you, man, but this ain't my bag. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do, like an all red except for the armor. I think I'm going to leave the armor white. I think I'm going to do the rest in 2 different shades of red. That's kind of what my thinking is here. And it won't all be bright red. I'll probably do darker red for the certain accent points, and then I got to figure out, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to red most of it out. Just red it out. Except for the armor pieces, which I think I'm going to do those in like a white or some kind of lightly grayed in gradations on it. Something like that. Something like this. And then yeah, maybe purple. I mean, I'm literally just kind of scribbling on this because I'm thinking it out in my head because I have a good purple marker like that. So maybe it will be something like, what do I want the pattern to be on this? What do I want the pattern to be on this? Ooh, you know what? Wait a minute. Maybe I'll do like a broken glass. I did something like this. No, it wasn't like that though. I did something similar to this on a card, but it wasn't exactly like this. But something along these lines where it's kind of like shattered pieces coming off, and they'll all be in purple. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of digging this now. This is why I like doing this stuff. It's just to kind of work out certain things on how I think they should be. Yeah, something like this. Okay, not like that though. I did it the wrong way. Something like this that comes down. Ah. Okay, well, obviously I'll do it better than this. But something along these lines where it's kind of coming off. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's going to work. Yeah. See, with the black. I mean, I'm going to have to, obviously on the card, I'm going to do the purple first and then surround it by black. But this is good. No, this is definitely what I want to do. This is kind of what I had in mind. Something like this. Yeah. See, that type of message is what I heard this morning. So it's like, don't even want to look at it. Although it wasn't that one. I have different message. I have different tones for each of the email accounts, so I know it's not something like that because it wouldn't come into that account. The GoFundMe stuff is on a different email account just in case it's ever hacked or whatever. I keep it off my main stuff. My main account is Mila Jovovich. That's whose voice that was. If you picked it up on the microphone, because of course it was. Because of course it was. But yeah, see, something like that. Oh man, that is all right, man. I'm digging that. God, do I want to have them outlined too? Do I want to fill them in or do I want to have them outlined? Oh man, I'm going back and forth on it now. I don't think either one is really correct or incorrect. It's a tough call. They kind of look good outlined though, don't they? Oh man, but they look good filled in too. Huh. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one. I mean, I'm doing this very sloppily, obviously. I'm just trying to plan this out in my skull. Just what this would kind of look like. So I know I'm going outside the lines here. I'm just trying to see. Oh boy, do I want to have it filled in or not? It kind of looks good with it empty, but I feel like that's gonna... Man, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm kind of going back and forth on it here. Because I think it looks... Oh, okay, that's too big. All right, how do I want to do this? I'm not worried about the interiors, because the interior is basically what I'm going to do is, the interior of the body. that'll, I'll do my normal kind of accent work where I'll come in here and do some, shading within the red to kind of give it some. So that part's fine. But I like the black and I like the purple. Oops. I do like it. I'm just trying to determine whether I want to. I mean, it's not really harder. I shouldn't say it that way. It's not that it's tougher. I don't know. I'm trying to think about this. Trying to think about what I want to do here. I mean, I like the pieces coming off of this. Something like that, where it's like these rays coming out. Like that, I think is good. I like the way this looks. And it looks good hollowed out like it is here. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to look good that way. It might actually look better with the color because it'll give it a little bit more pop. It's hard to say because I like it like that, almost like neon coming off it. You know what I mean? Like neon rays. But it might look just as good filled in. You know what I might need to do? Oy. Well, I may also change my mind the minute I start doing it on a card. I mean, this is how it looks on an iPad screen. That doesn't mean it's going to necessarily translate to the card as effectively. But I have to see. Yeah, because see, I like it filled in now too. So I think I'm going to do the fill-in because I like having a lot of color. I like the, and I could do both. I could have it alternating, but I don't think that would look good. I think that would look a little unbalanced when you get to it. So I don't think I'm going to do that. But I do like it. Yeah, I like it like this. Let's see. Yeah, the solid colors look good. I think if I alternate it right, I think the solid colors are going to work. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm all right with that. Yeah, and then like I said, I'm going to do red. I'm going to fill in red all between the armor. Like this. Or no, wait, that part would stay white because that's skin. Or whatever, flesh of some kind. I don't know if it's actually skin. In terms of the character's, canonical biography. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so do it all like in reds, because that's her main color. So I like the idea of doing reds. I use this as my guide when I actually do the card. Yeah, I think the reds are going to look good. And then I got some gray pens. So I may use the gray pens for the armor pierces. Yeah, I did it again. Armor pieces. English. Pieces. The armor pieces. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the fill. I like the fill-in. Actually, I was kind of on the fence about it until I started doing a little bit more of it. But now I do like the armor, or the rays, whatever we're going to call those, the ray things. I think those are going to look good. Yeah, okay, I'm liking that. And then, yeah, this stuff will all just be filled in. Except, again, for the armor pieces, which I will go through and do with the little detail stuff. But essentially, it'll be like this. Kind of like the arms with those sharp arm blades or whatever, too. Even though they're just really cut off arms. But something like that. And yeah, I'm doing this very quick. Do something like this. And then I'm doing a Mandalorian card too. Although I still have some time on that one. I mean, I have time on this one too. I'll tell you what. These people who are commissioning these cards, I'm not exaggerating. These are some of the most relaxed, laid-back people I have ever dealt with. Literally saying things like, take as much time as you want. Don't worry about it type of stuff. I'm like, whoa, man. Like, all right. I mean, I'm not taking advantage of that. I want this stuff done. But man, and I guess I say that, and the thing is, I have seen that some of the people, and they're probably people who are working artists, which I'm not. My main occupation is not being a graphic artist. So, just to be clear on that. So I assume that these other people that they're getting cards from probably are working artists. And so some of these people are talking about waiting 2 years to get their cards. That kind of thing. And I'm just like, whoa. So I guess compared when I say 4 to 6 weeks, yeah, compared to 2 years, that probably sounds like a dream. Although this guy, this person, I don't know. The name, I believe, was a Italian male name, but I don't know, and it doesn't matter. This individual basically was just thrilled to be able to get any of the cards. Because there are a limited amount, so they do eventually run out. I will eventually run out of cards. At least the foil ones are flying. That's what everybody wants. Which I'll admit, just for me, I like the matte cards better. I mean, whatever. No, again, not commenting on what anybody chooses to like, but myself, I like matte way better. I mean, I think the artwork, I don't think there's a tremendous difference, but I tend to like matte cards better for myself. If I was somebody, and now that I've been doing this, I am kind of thinking about finding some artists and getting commissions from them. You know, not that I'm a Magic player, but just be neat as an art collection thing. But if I was going to get some from somebody, I would want matte. I think somebody asked me, I think at one point, they said, oh, you know, which one do you like better? I said, hey, between you and me, I get the matte one. Not to mention it's cheaper pricing-wise because the foil ones are more expensive because they are what more people want. So I said, not only do I think my work looks better on matte, but you get it for cheaper. And you're going to get it in what, to me, again, purely subjective, I think is a better showcase for my work. I like. I like this. And so, again, some of the reds will be darker. It's not going to be a uniform color like this. I don't know what the inner circle. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But this is what I really just kind of wanted to block out, is what my rough idea for this was going to be. So this gives me an image that I just wanted to see, because otherwise I have to kind of find out on the card. And I didn't want to find out on the card that I did something and then hated it. That is not my preferred. I experimented on one card and ruined it. Actually, technically 2 cards. But I've kept the one because I think I can probably salvage it and just sell it as kind of a, one-off thing that if somebody wants it, they can have it. But the other one was so badly butchered that the card got destroyed. Because I would never allow that piece of work to ever get out and have my name attached to it. No thanks. And it wasn't even really that it was that bad, but I knew there was no saving it. The worst thing, not for me, I mean, other people will have their worst things, but the worst thing in terms of artwork is there's a piece, if I have a piece that I know I can't save, which really doesn't happen in digital anymore. That's the other nice part about going digital, is it doesn't really happen. You can almost always save something, or, avoid a truly terrible mistake, but that was on physical. I mean, I came up on physical. I love physical. This is not me saying that all art should be digital. Absolutely not. I still adore physical. The bad part about it is that, better artists than me, I'm sure it's a different story. But for me, the big drawback for physical is always going to be that I can screw it up. Whereas in digital, I can still screw things up. Things can still look bad. I'm not going to tell you every digital image I've created has been flawless. But man, the ability to fix it is so much better. So much. I mean, not even a comparison point in terms of being able to come in and fix the thing. So it's really not even. And what I may do is maybe I will do red lips on her too. Because the face is going to be white. I like the idea of having actually the face would. This isn't the face. This is the mask. So I should color this. I'll probably do a variation of red because I do have at least 2 red tones I can use. So I will do a variation on the color. It won't all be uniform red. But yeah, digital. Digital is... It's funny because when the iPad and everything first came out, because I tried Wacom tablets and I was like, yeah, I'll never be able to work in digital because, you know, until the Apple Pen, even before the Apple Pencil, before Apple Pencil, still, you would never caught me drawing on an iPad because the precision just was, the tool wasn't right. Once the pencil came along, that was it, man. That changed it. That moved me over and 98%. If I had to go, yeah, that's the thing, right? And some people do. Some people like Ogre does a lot of that tape manipulation stuff, and he loves it. You know, so it is the relation between you and the medium and your comfort level, and you know whether you're willing and I think for some people there is a yeah, he is great at it. I think for some people they enjoy that kind of, I don't know if risk taking is the right word, but the riding the edge of that thing is kind of the appeal. Is okay, can I take something that is so inherently close to possible failure and manage to get something really good out of it? You know, there is that kind of mentality, and I understand it. It just ain't me. I want my image to be what I want it to be. I don't want to, you know, it's like some people who paint in a certain way and they really don't care. Actually, I shouldn't say that. With painting, I don't mind. When my wife and I are doing our Bob Ross paintings, I will frequently kind of do some stuff that easily could fail. And I don't really care as much because to me, painting is that experimental medium where I'm like, okay, I know I'm not a painter. You know, I know I'm not making a living or ever will really intend for my paintings to be my art. Therefore, if I mess them up, I don't really care. That's okay. So I'll push I'll mess around and screw around with painting more. Using really weird colors that don't necessarily make sense with things and that kind of stuff. And I like that. But with this kind of thing, digital's just it. It just is. Which I do sometimes miss. I do miss doing artwork on and I'm going to. I have a plan to do a couple things that are going to be on, you know, big 18 by 24 paper again, which is what I used to work on for everything. But the other thing with that too is unless you have a huge space, which I don't have some huge art studio. I'm not Cooper or anything. I can't have multiples of those going all at the same time. There's no room for it. So that's the other thing is being able to do digital. I have multiple canvases all the time. It's great. Yeah, I didn't realize I did that. This should not be here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with something like this. And again, the reds will vary, so that there will be a darker red in this, and then I'll do the little detail work. And then, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the ring yet, but I can figure out whenever. This is a good starting point. This is what I wanted, was to establish kind of a starting point for what I'm going to do. And then, yeah, like I said, I have a different pen that, say, I'll come in here and, okay, I'll take the dark red pen will be done for this. So I'll come in here, and that'll be variations inside of this thing. So this will be there, and then I'll have the accent work, so that'll work. And then I got to figure out what I want to do with the armor. And then I'll probably do some kind of... I might do a fill. I might do a fill on this of some kind of color. I don't know if it's going to be green, but whatever. And then I will take the black thin pen and then do some kind of patterning inside of here. Like, you know, something like this. You know, not necessarily even that. Maybe it'll be, maybe I'll do some kind of, maybe I'll do another broken thing in here, but do it differently. So it sort of mimics what's on the outside. You know, put lines like this and then have them breaking. I did this on one other one too. I don't think it's quite, it was something like this. Or maybe something like this. Maybe not necessarily exactly that. Maybe I'll do something different where it's more of kind of an amorphous swirl type of thing. Just so there's like power lines emanating out of her or something like that. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, that's that. The purple thing, the color, overall color things are definitely what I want to do. Like I said, the inside, yeah, I don't know what color this is going to be. This may actually be a completely different. Maybe I'll make this like a deep blue that's something like that. Or something. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'll figure that out. I'll work that out. But that's a good starting point. And then I have these kind of gray tone detail pen. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. And so I think what I'm going to do is something like this. Well, maybe I'll just do like repeating lines or something like this that indicates this. You know, and then do that for accent points and see what that looks like. Or I may just do them as accents like this. That one I'll figure out once I'm in the card. I gotta see. I don't know. I can't tell where I want to be on that yet. We'll see. I mean, those gray lines don't look bad, especially against the red. That maybe I'll do accent lines as opposed to the wavy line thing. Maybe something like this. Obviously more detailed than that, and then maybe some type of shadow lines in there. Yeah, that might work. Fill all this in, and then have accents coming out into the main armor. Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to go. I think I'll do that. I don't like the wavy stuff. That doesn't look good to me. So, get rid of that. But I think the other one, if I fill these in... So if the armor itself is filled in with these gray scales... See, I like the gray scale against red. I like it. I think it looks good. So if I do something like this... And then the accent lines are the kind of accentuation of it. Yeah. Something like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think that's it. That's what I'm going to do. Some variation on that on the card. Yep, I like that. That's a good plan. Okay, well, let's transition back. I knew this was going to be a short stream. Oh, it's almost 45 minutes. So that's not bad. That's typically mine are 45 to an hour. But I did know today's was not going to be as long. But that was good because I needed to get that work done, so that I could get an idea of where I wanted that to be. And I think that approach is going to work. I think that's going to be. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to pump the mic a bunch of times there. I think that approach will work. So, sorry, it was a little bit more of a downbeat stream, byproduct of the day. But like I said, I'm all right. Everything is okay. I'm still glad I did the stream in some form. I was like doing it a little bit because I think it is beneficial. And I got to work on the card thing, so that was actually legitimately something I have to do because I got to get started on that probably this weekend or maybe next week at the latest. So, yeah. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Faint Waves, for stopping in and saying hello. And there I'm looking at my dog who's behind me and is pretending that she hasn't eaten in weeks when it's really only been not even... No, it's been about 6 hours. So, yes, I'll feed you in a minute. So, yep, you too. And thanks to everybody else who will probably be watching this at a later time, unless you join right now, which I feel bad for you because you got about 10 seconds left, or maybe 30. But in any event, as this stream demonstrated, go create something, especially if you are having a bad day. Doodle something, or create something, music, write something. Writing is helpful too, all that stuff. It can offset what otherwise is not, necessarily the best stuff. Because it happens. That is life, unfortunately, is many times these little hiccups and weird things that go on. So go forth and create something, whatever, just for your own amusement, enjoyment, to offset bad news of some kind if you got any. Hopefully you didn't. I hope you came to this stream having a fantastic day. I honestly do. I hope that you've had a wonderful day or night, whatever it is, and continue to have a great rest of whatever. In any event, thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next stream. Until then, take care.